Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome officially to the channel. This is a series where we look at various different oddities in gaming that developers either made to help players get more into the game visually or physically. Most have had influences on games and designs from years well past when they were active, and today is no exception, because today we're going to take a look at the 3D glasses for the Sega Master System. Sega in the late 80s got the idea to try to push gaming into 3D with the Sega 3D glasses. These were, just like the name says, a way of making your Genesis games, well, 3D. This sounds like a really cool idea at first until you realize it was simply a new line of games that would work with the headset, with some of them actually having 2D only modes as well, so that you could use them with or without the headset. The full list of games that you could use with it include Blade Eagle, Line of Fire, Maze Hunter 3D, Missile Defense 3D, Outrun 3D, Poseidon Mars 3D, Space Harrier 3D, and Zaxxon 3D. You can already see by the fact that I could list all the games that were compatible with it, why this wasn't a more well-known accessory for the console. Now, contrary to what many of you may be thinking, Sega did not do this first. Nintendo actually released a 3D set of glasses for the Famicom, known as the Famicom 3D system, that dropped on October 21st of 1987. The Sega 3D glasses came out November 7th of 1987. The major difference being the fact that Sega actually released their headset globally, releasing it in the US and UK as well as Japan. I know what you're asking, how in the world did they take a 2D platform and make it 3D without using something cheesy like those 3D glasses or building an entire console around it? Not looking at you, Virtual Boy, yeah you, the 3DS. Well, what I'm coming to realize is that in true Sega fashion, these sort of Frankenstein monsters of the console. In all honesty, this one isn't as bad as it looks if you look at the overall history of attachments for the Sega Systems line. And yes, I realize every time that I say Sega, all you're hearing is this. Sega! I am too. We're gonna get through this. Together. How do you use this thing? Well, you would plug the attachment into the console itself, and then plug the cart into that attachment, and then plug the headset into it from the front. Yeah, I know, it's weird. But then, you know, it's Sega. I know, I did it again. And I think at this point I just might start saying it as many times as I can fit it into the video, so that all you hear when you leave my channel today is someone screaming, Sega! So, let's go over this again. The plug-in for this looks like a cart. This would slide into the cartridge slot, and then the cartridge itself would actually slide into the other pin in. Once it's done, you plug the headset into the front. This allows the headset to present a shuttered display of the game that would make the game seem three-dimensional. The process they used is known as Stereoscopic 3D, and it's a pretty old technology. In fact, it actually dates back to the early 20th century, where they'd use two cameras side by side. The left eye footage would actually use a different colored filter than the right one, and when the two were superimposed on each other, the audience would then have to wear 3D glasses. These were glasses that had one lens tinted red and the other blue. Each color would filter out one image, essentially presenting a different image to each eye. In fact, this kind of technology actually goes back even further than the 3D glasses of old, to the old Viewmasters that some of you may have seen or had when you were a child. How Sega... See, I did it again! How they did it was they made the glasses actually use a shutter system. This caused the images to look slightly different from each other, which made the game look three-dimensional. The trade-off was that it would effectively halve the frames per second of any game used with the system. So a game commonly running at say 60 frames a second would now run at 30 frames a second. The add-on had a number of things going against it though. One of them was the market penetration of the Master System. At the time, Nintendo had a dominant market share in both the Japanese and American markets, and was vastly outselling the Master System, which left it with a relatively small market. Secondly, it only worked with a handful of games. Lastly, it would only work with the original Master System, also known as the Sega Mark III. It would not, however, work with the Master System 2, which was the cheaper version of the Master System released in 1990. What did you guys think of this one? Did any of you have this one? What did you think of it if you did? Are you more or less interested in it now that you've actually seen this video? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, happy gaming. Also, one last time for the road.